Can I get a round of applause for our hometown Detroit Lions? We are.
There we go.
Special thank you to Benzinga, Jason Razik, and team for having Donovan and I out. Very excited to dive into NIL and a championship mentality. So today, we're going to dive into the realm where the principles of athletic excellence meet the evolving landscape of sport and individual branding. Traditionally, success in sports was measured solely by victories and championships. But we now find ourselves in an era where success extends far beyond the scoreboard. It encompasses the cultivation of personal brands, leveraging opportunities on and off the playing field, and advocating for equitable treatment, particularly in college athletics. At the core of this transformation lies the championship mentality, a mindset characterized by resilience, determination, and unwavering commitment to excellence. Simultaneously, the landscape of collegiate athletics has been reshaped by the introduction of name, image, and likeness. Athletes now navigate uncharted territories, balancing athletic pursuits with entrepreneurial endeavors and redefining what it means to be a collegiate athlete in the 21st century. So today I have the pleasure of sharing the stage with my dear friend Donovan Edwards. Donovan, how are you feeling today?
Doing blessed, man. Appreciate everybody for being out here. Thank you to appreciate Jason Resnick for allowing us to be up here. Excited to give a plant the seed of wisdom into people's minds. Hope we don't bore you guys, but I'm ready to roll.
Amazing. Well, Donovan is born and bred West Bloomfield, Michigan. Now he's rising into his senior year at the University of Michigan, fresh off of a national championship game. Can we just pause there? Another round of applause for Donovan. We'll start here, winding it back to January of 2024, coming off of the national championship. Donovan, what does a championship mentality mean to you, and how do you embody that day in and day out?
So a championship mindset, what it means to me is, you're always going to have adversity and there's always going to be things thrown your way, right? But a real champion, they're going to see it, they're going to overcome it, and they're going to embody other people around them to be able to persevere and to overcome adversity, right? So for an example, Coach Harbaugh wasn't there for 4 games for us, but for us, it's like, okay, that's great, or it's not great. Like, it's whatever that he's not there. But at the same time, like, we are so prepared that we're going to win the games even though he's not there. So that's a championship mindset for us. We're going to be able to not only overcome what's thrown at us, but we're also going to dominate. And we're not going to allow anybody to overcome or to be able to throw anything in our obstacle for anything that's in between us and our goals and accomplishments. So that's championship mindset for me.
I love it. I mean, I think one of the most exciting things for people that have had the opportunity to spend time around you in particular and the entire team over the last 2 years was just this culture, right, of a championship mentality, waking up, staying concentrated, holding each other accountable. How are you taking that next step, knowing that this is your senior year, right? This is the definition of your Michigan football team, your offense. How are you carrying that through the offseason? And what are you excited about with this football team this upcoming fall?
No doubt. So I've been able to sit behind great leaders and see what they have done, for us to be at the position that we are today, right? So for me, it always reverts back to my 2021 freshman year coming in college. And it was tremendous guys like Aiden Hutchinson, who has a poster right up in the middle of Detroit, of his face. It's guys like him and Josh Ross, Hassan Haskins, who embody what it is to be a Michigan man for us, right? Like cleaning up after yourselves, cleaning up the locker room, making sure everything is spotless, and leaving, no doubt that we're going to achieve our goals and do everything that we sought out to be, right? So for me personally, it's my obligation to be able to uphold that standard, right? To continue to do the right things, to have a championship mindset. People have been saying for us recently now that, we lost a lot of guys. A lot of people are going to be drafted today, tomorrow, and, these upcoming days within the draft, right? And that's great. I'm very happy for my guys, but at the same time, we also have to move on forward, right? So for us, the guys who are here this year, that it could be us next year, So the thing for us is being able to embody, what it is to be a Michigan man to the younger guys, right? The younger guys came into the program with a 15-0 and they won a championship. but they weren't there for the defeats against Georgia and against TCU. They weren't there for that. So it's up to us to be able to continue to embody, what it is that the reason why we are successful where we are, and could allow other guys to be able to be in their leadership roles when we leave. So that's what it's all about. And, the guys like Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Ross, they've embodied that amongst us for us to be able to take that forward and implement it to other people. So, that means that the program will be successful for the next 20 years, the next 5 years. And, that's what the culture for us is all about.
It's amazing. I mean, the embodiment of passing the torch, right, from one leader down to the next, right? That is a championship culture and how you build on it every year. For those in the room that are up and coming, that aspire to be in your seat one day, what are some tips and what's some advice that you could pass on to those who want to be a champion like yourself?
Absolutely. It goes for the adults as well. We're all going to go through some type of adversity. We're all going to have to persevere. And for me, my belief is that once you go through adversity introduces you to yourself, right? So if you're a person who's going to shy away from the trials and tribulations or just quit, then that's who you are. You're a quitter, right? For an example, for me, last year, the past season, it wasn't what I wanted it to be. And that's perfectly fine, right? I could have easily quit, but I'm not a quitter, and I won't allow myself to quit. I have a lot of obligations. I have a lot of ambitions to be able to achieve and to spread it upon others. So, for an example, I wasn't getting the carries that I wanted, wasn't getting the touches, and that's perfectly fine. I had to also look at myself in the mirror and ask myself, what am I doing wrong, right? But to be able to continue to persevere and to have resilience within yourself allows you to understand who you truly are. And that's just my thing. Like, I inspire for other people to have the mentality of, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to get better, instead of being soft and just quitting, and that's the Michigan culture. Like, we don't allow quitters or people that, that aren't competitive enough to be able to compete at a high level. Like, they're just going to have to go. And if there's people that surround you that have that mentality, then they're going to have to go.
It's amazing. Well, look, we're going to do a quick pivot here into talking about name, image, and likeness and how it affects you personally and how it's affecting college football and college athletics as a whole. Can you share some of the strategies that you've employed to help build and manage your personal brand and everything that comes along with this new era of college athletics?
Absolutely. I think that this NIL thing allows young adults, young men to become adults, young men and young women to become adults, right? So we're sitting here in a building that was created by somebody, and that person has had a team to be able to build something successful. And in the NIL space, it's the exact same thing. You need to have a team around you to be able to become successful. And I think that's what's most important for me, is to be able to have the right people around me to be able to be successful or to reach the amount of dollars that I want or to be able to donate it, So being able to have the right team around you is something that everybody in the NIL space needs to have around them.
Can you share a little bit of insight on how you actually build that team? What are the needs, whether it's legal support, whether it's accounting support, financial advisor, endorsements? How do you view that? And how are you managing that from an individual being a student athlete, which is one of the more time demanding types of responsibilities as a young adult?
Absolutely. So there's no order, right? You need an agent, you need marketing people who are going to be able to market you well. You need a financial advisor, you need accountants, because you're going to have to pay taxes on the money that you're making. And most importantly, you have to hold up your end of the bargain as well. You have to be able to perform in whatever sport that you're in or whatever it is that you may be doing. So it's those four people that you need, and maybe more. I might be missing something, but at the same time as well, you need to be able to hold up your part. And if you want to reach an X amount of dollars, if you want to have goals or accomplishments that you want to achieve, you need to hold up your end of the bargain. And if you want to hold other people to a high standard, you need to hold yourself to a high standard.
Can you share some of the potential drawbacks and challenges associated with name, image, and likeness? It's become this nefarious, headline-grabbing type of dynamic in college athletics. What's kind of the underbelly, right, that you see happening in the locker room, and what ways would you suggest to fix it, if there are any ways?
Yeah. So I would say that some people, I can't necessarily say, like some people are just quitting, but, they're going through tough times, it may be in the program and somebody may offer them X amount of dollars to go somewhere and then they take it, right? Versus for me, for an example, like I stayed behind, I played behind two people for 3 years, right? And I waited my turn and I didn't quit and I didn't leave because I was offered money to go somewhere else. That's not in the rules for, somebody who has high standards and high expectations and high goals for themselves, right? But at the same time, you see people that are leaving to go somewhere that's not beneficial for them, that's not going to set them up from 40 years from now, because college is 4 years and it's going to set you up for 40 years. But some people are taking money to go somewhere else instead of, what I would say, thugging it out to be able to just stay at a place that's going to make them a better individual and set them up for success in the long run. So that's kind of a drawback, like people are just leaving to go somewhere else instead of allowing them to grow as a person and to go through adversity, because some people may, be the man since their freshman year of high school, but now all of a sudden like money's involved and now they're leaving instead of, like going through tough times to sharpen themselves as individuals. And that's a drawback. It's things that at that point where being a better individual is taken out of the picture because you're all of a sudden just quitting on or just leaving where you're at to become or just for some money.
Appreciate that. That is a big picture perspective. And to be able to carry that at your age is really incredible. So I appreciate that. I want to leave with one last question because we're bumping up on time here. What's your favorite part about the scene here in Detroit? This is one of the biggest weekends that I'm just turned 28 from Royal Oak. Like, this is one of the coolest things I've experienced being downtown. What do you love about draft weekend? What's been exciting for you?
I see some Michigan jerseys out in the crowd, right? Which is great. I see a lot of blue jerseys supporting the Detroit Lions. That's in here and that's out there. That's great. What also stands out to me is that the draft came to Detroit. I'm not sure if y'all are from Michigan as well, but my hometown. It's great to see. There's a lot of people that are out right now supporting the draft, supporting their own fan base, whether it be Michigan State, Michigan, the Detroit Lions. It's a lot of support throughout the community, and it's a lot of camaraderie here, and we're all embracing and enjoying it with each other. So, it's beautiful to see.
It's amazing. Well, Donovan, I appreciate your time this afternoon. Can I get one more hand of applause for national champion Donovan Edwards?